But he's got that green MSI Claw too, and that's pretty sick.
Well, I mean, I mean, the fact that you can like,
Change the faceplates, right?
that one you can't change faceplates, right?
No, it's any
Oh no,
model.
you're talking about the Etsy. You're talking about the faceplates.
Oh, yeah.
Because the A8 is slightly different from
Yeah,
the
you
AI
can't
8.
change the A8. That
Oh
one
yeah.
is like
Well,
a
the
full
A8 is
frame.
so the A8 is completely
Oh
inferior.
yeah, but yeah, those are the AMD chips.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
one is completely inferior. It's a worse chip. It's probably
Yeah.
going to be a worse price and less customization. Like it's just worse all the way around.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let me just refund my Ally X Xbox. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh
I still
man.
want it.
I hope Phil's
still
not
want it.
watching this.
And get oh geez. Okay, let's press record, please.
It is recording.
It is
are we?
recording.
Oh
Yeah, so
geez.
that's why I
Okay.
caught that. Yeah, that's why I said I hope Phil is not watching. Or maybe I hope Phil is watching.
Okay.
Hey yo, Yokoso, which means welcome. I'm glad you're here because today we are talking about the most incredibly customizable and amazing handheld. I bet you didn't think that I was going to say it's the MSI Claw. But if you put money on that, well, good for you. You have won a wonderful tinfoil hat from our friend Hans Turn. Friends, it sounds like MSI Claw is going through a little bit of a renaissance period, or I don't know if I'm using that term properly or not, but Intel seems to be, slept on is the right term, I think. So, what do you think, panelists? Introduce yourself first, please.
Hey, I'm Clef from Game TikTok.
Hey, I'm Nelly.
Hey, it's Zach. Hans Turn.
Okay, so yes, Zach, you don't have your hat today. I guess that's because you already packed up that tinfoil hat, right? So
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, everyone? Have you been taking a look at the Intel 258V that's inside of the MSI Claw AI8? We've gotten a number of comments from our audience about, the fact that this chip outperforms the HX370, or at the very least trades blows in a lot of scenarios. What do you think about that, Clef?
Well, I had pre-ordered the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus when it originally released, and I never made a video on it. I did talk about it on Quick Chat in our good friend Joe at Gaming for Insights channel, and there was a lot that they improved versus the previous model. There was a lot to love. Some things that I haven't seen from other handhelds. The way that they use RGB on the face buttons to like let you know status updates, like the mode you're on, and I thought that was like clever things. And there's actually a lot going for that device, but it was always you pay more for less performance, and now you are paying the same as or very close to an Xbox Ally X. You're getting better performance, you're getting mainline drivers, you're getting a better panel. I mean, suddenly it's like, ooh, it's hard because it's like the better pick, if I'm being honest. And we were just talking before, or maybe it was recording because I don't know when we hit record. You can change those faceplates to even like make it your own, make it to your style, to your liking, to your preference. So it's easily modified, in terms of aesthetics as well. So yeah, there's a lot going for it.
Yeah.
The white and black.
Yeah. Do you
really
guys have the
does
Tempest
pop
one
on
there?
that.
No, we don't.
Oh.
And Best Buy Canada it's the regular one. But those faceplates, you can buy them super easy on like Etsy and other shops.
Oh.
And you can even like do custom. They're super easy to swap. I looked because I have
Wait,
when
it
I
has
stream.
faceplates?
Yeah,
On
I
the
didn't even
controllers?
know.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know that brown part that everybody hates?
I don't
You
hate
can
that, but
easily
yeah, sure.
replace those.
Oh, interesting.
You can make them
Okay.
like purple, orange, green, whatever. Because I have someone on the stream that just bought one, because I told him like, that the 258V is outperforming the HX370 in many case scenarios. And he was like, really? And then he bought one, and so we've been talking about it for the last week. And he was the one to tell me about those faceplates, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
That's actually really cool.
Go click that in the topics.
Okay.
Like there's look at these colors.
I think I mentioned to you all last time too. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
It's sexy, huh?
Wow.
Whoa.
I think I mentioned wow. Okay, now I'm kind of sold. Now
what?
So that's another reason why I haven't bought
me,
the Xbox Ally X, because I'm like, maybe I should just revisit the MSI Claw 8.
give me the Nintendo Switch colors. No, I did I tell you, like, I'm kind of salty now. I let you I think I mentioned it before. So Joe, our guy Joe picked up the beige brown one or whatever back in November 2024
Yeah.
for $8.99.
Champagne.
Yeah,
Whoa.
$8.99, right? And I saw that pre-order on Amazon because I was the one that told Joe about it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy this for like this Intel thing. And I was like, oh my god. Now I'm like, that's like big regret
But
now.
see, that's the thing. The price never moved for Canada.
So it's still $8.99 though?
Well, so
It's not,
the thing,
right?
okay, the thing is, the MSI Claw was always 1,300 for us because I actually pre-ordered
Oh,
one. I have the order to prove it.
oh,
It
okay.
was 1,300, but
Yeah.
it was one of those situations where MSI was slightly overcharging Canadians,
Yeah.
whereas right now ASUS is slightly undercharging Canadians.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why, like, you see that
Yeah.
$100 difference, but really for Canadians, it was always
It
that
was
price,
always that
and it
price.
still is. Mhm.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess in that context, yeah, Joe just got a steal of a deal. Nobody else. But yeah, that's
But he's got that
that's
green
insane.
MSI Claw too, and that's pretty sick.
Well, I mean, the fact that you can like,
Change the
well,
faceplates, right?
that one you can't change faceplates, right?
No, it's any
Oh no,
model.
you're talking about the Etsy. You're talking about the faceplates, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because the A8 is slightly different from
Yeah,
the
you can't
AI8.
change the A8. That
Oh
one
yeah.
is like a
Well, the A8
full
is
frame.
so the A8 is completely
Oh yeah,
inferior.
but yeah, those are the AMD chips.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
one is completely inferior. It's a worse chip. It's probably
Yeah.
going to be a worse price and less customization. Like it's just worse all the way around.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let me just refund my Ally Xbox. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh
I still
man.
want it.
I hope
I
Phil's
still
not
want it.
watching this.
And get oh geez. Okay, let's press record, please.
It is recording.
It is
Are we?
recording.
Oh
Yeah, so
geez.
that's why I
Okay.
caught that. Yeah, that's why I said I hope Phil is not watching. Or maybe I hope Phil is watching.
Okay.
All right.
2,000 years later.
I honestly do think that's incredible. We got to take it to the person who does all the mods. Nelly, what would you mod this with?
Honestly, okay, the faceplate thing was like big news because that like light brown, whatever color, is not attractive, like whatsoever.
What do you mean? No,
You don't
Coach,
like the Fallout edition? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want the Fallout edition of MSI Claw. We're only talking about the claw here. Uh, so, like that faceplate changeability is great. Actually, I would love to see that from like handheld DIY. That would be really cool if they had some of their own plates because, like looking at the Etsy ones, the translucent ones, they're just like 3D printed look on there. Like you can tell it's very 3D printed. So like it would be cool to see more of like the JSOG's handheld DIY, like Dbrand release stuff for the MSI Claw because you don't really see a lot. I don't. Does Dbrand even have anything for the MSI Claw? Like I don't think I've ever seen anything for that on there. Maybe they will with this newer one if, as the hype goes up, but some of those accessories and some of those mods would be really cool to see on the MSI Claw and exciting, like we get with the ROG Ally. Even like the Legion Go would be cool to get a little bit more, options for that from those vendors because customizing the device makes it really cool and it makes it your own. And now that we're getting all these drivers coming out, like that's even more exciting for this device. Like as much as I don't have the MSI Claw, I do have an 1X Player X1 Pro 255H, which is very similar. And that one performs really well. And I'm really happy with it. And you get driver updates like basically every week, if not every 2 weeks, sometimes twice in a week. Like they are pumping out drivers like crazy to just push this device and make it better. And that's really great to see. So I really hope that Intel keeps pushing. And I know it's kind of a mixed bag right now with like the future with Intel, but boy, I really want them to just keep pushing.
Yeah, that's I think you're right on the money, Nelly, especially with like the customization. I mean, people really shouldn't knock that or sleep on that. Just look at all the different variants of like Switch Joy-Cons and things like that sell so well, right? So, I mean, in that context alone, yeah, that you can have this custom one. I was saying right before the recording too, I want the Switch Joy-Con color one. So, a Nintendo lawyer can tell me that that design has been patented already. It's incredible. People are definitely sleeping on the Intel chip. But
Uh,
Zach,
well,
sorry, go ahead.
I want to ask Zach, would you want like waifus, faceplates,
Oh,
maybe? Right? I would
yeah.
want
I
them.
mean, somebody's. Oh, that's got to be. I'll have to look it up
Zach,
after this.
start a
I'm sure
business. Start a
somebody's got to have
business.
like a Dbrand, because I know Nelly, you mentioned Dbrand. Yeah, I checked. All they have are stick grips and
And
glass screen
protectors.
protector. Like they don't even have the skins. So like I'm sure somebody on Etsy, AliExpress, whatever, probably has skins. For it. I've seen waifu skins for my OG Ally that I was going to buy before it took a dump on me. So I'm sure it's available somewhere. If not, then you can make your own.
Oh, you
Clef's
mean
gonna find you some right
yeah,
now.
you mean
Yeah.
Hand's turn is gonna make you some. But tell me, Zach, what do you think about this no longer AMD fine wine, but Intel fine wine? You've got to have been following a bit too.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and watch. I mean, any other time that we've talked about this, I've been probably one of the first people to, bash Intel and MSI over this device, or previous iterations of this device between Intel's poor performance, the Claw basically seeming like it was a paper launch every time they would send one out. Like, hopefully, this one that's currently available wants to stick around for a little bit. And obviously, yeah, I mean, these drivers are actually doing good now. So, I mean, it's a great proposition. I mean, if you're looking for something, especially versus, say like, the Go 2 that's 1350, like at this point, like you kind of got a good value proposition here. So it's like it's good to kind of see that again, like, hey, we got competition again. Like it seemed like it was gonna be, and then it wasn't. Now it is again. So it's a fun little roller coaster that we've been on with the MSI Claw, and I'm sure they've been on that same roller coaster, probably not enjoying it as much from the inside, but us on the outside looking in,
Yeah,
it's been fun to watch.
Lucky the Dragon has a front row seat on that roller coaster. Yeah.
Before you take it, Brendan, I just want to address what Nelly and Henstern said, and talk about the software, because MSI's Claude, I don't remember whatever they call their soft Dragon something, if I recall, was kind of buggy. Apparently, it's got better, but it's still, from what I'm hearing, because I have someone where I stream that just recently bought one from our discussions and says that the software is kind of iffy. But one thing I definitely want to put a spot on is Intel's software, which Nelly, you probably have firsthand experience with. Their graphics panel, I think is what they call it, is really awesome work from Intel.
Yeah.
That's also something that is really, really good to navigate, and something that I appreciated with the Claw and some of the Intel 155H and 255H devices that I have. They really did a great job with that as well. So that's another benefit, as well as having mainline drivers, because you don't have, that Z2 or Z1 shenanigans over
Whoa,
at
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Intel's.
whoa, whoa! Don't pull a Windex tech on me yet. We
Oh,
have
sorry.
we're gonna talk
Sorry.
about that after
Oops.
as my
Sorry.
camera
Oops.
readjusts itself. Yeah, you're making a great point. Yes, the Intel Arc drivers that should be present on this device, as well as the device that Nelly mentioned, the One X Player, the One X Player X1 limited Ava edition, which has a 255H. I actually have a 255H as well inside the Lenovo Yoga book I have, and yeah, it knocks it out of the park in most cases. And if it doesn't, then it's probably just like a throttled by the wattage, and that's just happened to me like because of my laptop. But the thing is there is a lot of customization, and Intel is really putting in the work. You have sort of this free flow like RAM configuration. So those of you who are familiar with our Z1E devices, you know that companies like Lenovo, companies like Asus, they've been putting in the work in their software, like in Armory Crate, like in Legion Space, to let you customize how much VRAM you've allocated. Well, in the ARC drivers, you can customize like you can. It's like a slider basically. You can dedicate like a significant amount. I think it's up to, what is it, Nelly? Like 75, 80% of
It's pretty
your
high.
RAM,
It's pretty
right?
high.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you if you wanted to, you could basically like choke Windows essentially and give it all this V. Like I don't know why you would do that, but like the point is that you can, which is very interesting, And the really cool and fun thing about having an Intel Arc handheld as well is that you have access to XeSS2, which is one that has Intel's upscaling technology, but also Intel's XeSS2 frame generation, which by and large, for pixel peepers anyway, they'll say it looks a bit better than FSR3. And the cool thing is that this doesn't lock you out. You have the option to use FSR3 also, and you have the option to use FSR3 frame generation as well, because those are not locked to vendor, right? So you have that choice between those two if you want to get a little bit more image quality, a little bit more image fidelity, or if you want like more performance if you're playing something like Cyberpunk, right? So yeah, it is honestly shaping up to be pretty bright, despite what Nelly was referencing earlier, which is we don't know partly what Intel's future is because of their whole deal with Nvidia, which is beyond the scope of this video. But what I did want to ask you all was in terms of the value. This is where we're talking about the Z2 now, Clef. When we're looking at the other players that are currently out there, and we see that mainly, yes, we have the Legion Go 2 with its pricing. We have the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X with its pricing. Like, besides RAM, right? Which Clef also alluded to being 32 gigs of RAM on this device versus 24 on the Xbox Ally X. Let's toss in the MSI Claw A8. That's the Z2E variant as well, which we've seen with that nice shiny green color that is getting a lot of attention, I think. But we still don't know pricing or availability on that, as far as I know. So, like, what do you all think of this comparison so far? Like, what is it that would sell this for you besides RAM? Is it just RAM? What do you think? Yeah,
No, I mean, price wise too, as well for this one. If you can get it right now, that 1025. I mean, obviously you're $325 cheaper than the Legion Go. You're $25 more than the the Xbox Ally X, and you're getting more. You're getting more RAM, which means you can allocate yourself more VRAM. You can still put this Xbox full screen stuff on it, or you can just put Bazite on it and be way better anyway. But like, value wise, with the way the market is right now, unless you're gonna go big and get a Strix Halo device, like, I think this is it. Like, I would buy this over the Xbox Ally X. I would probably buy this over the Legion Go just because of price. I don't know. I mean, I'd think about it just because detachable controllers, bigger screen, yada yada. But I mean, just seeing, I mean, that price difference, it's a jump, and it would make you think about it for sure. But I definitely think this is going to be better than the Ally X. This is going to be cheaper than the Z2E version. I mean, if Xbox with all its, deals with Asus, blah blah blah, can only get it to be $1,000, you got to imagine it's going to be more than 1025 for MSI or anybody else. I mean, that's probably why the Legion goes 1350. You're probably expecting somewhere around that ballpark for the Z2E version of the Claw as well. So honestly, right, if you want to stay right around 1,000, this is probably it for me.
I think that's really well put. What do you think, Clef? I think you're raring to go. You're
Uh,
ready to claw someone's eyes out.
um,
Claw.
I just, as I was listening to Zach, I just couldn't help myself but think of the power of comparison, right? Because it's not that long ago that most people, I included, even though I didn't make a video on it, my mind was set on this is too expensive. And now, when being able to compare to something like a Legion Go 2 and something like a Xbox Ally X, I'm like, well, suddenly it kind of sounds like the better pick out of all those options. At the very least, if you are still not able to get an Xbox Ally X pre-order, or you're still on the fence, or you are just waiting for the pre-order that you may have, the moment you start to dig into what the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus is capable to do today and what it offers you for the price that it does, it, in my opinion, it's got to stick a wheel in the Xbox Ally. It's got to stick a stick, put a stick in the Xbox Ally X's wheel, because man, the value proposition is really interesting here. The bigger screen, the mainline drivers, and that screen. I really want to emphasize that screen. It blows the Xbox Ally X and Ally X out of proportion. It's way, way, way better in color. It's way better in size. You know, a lot of people are saying, look, we're compromising with 7-inch, but we want 8-inch. You have the 8-inch. And it is also landscape. It is also VRR. So you're not sacrificing there either. Yeah, it's, you know, I was supposed to pre-order the Xbox Ally X, and when I realized that, oh, we are suddenly at the same price as the 8 AI Plus, I kind of I couldn't make my mind. I couldn't decide because I feel like I want to revisit because ergonomics, buttons, screen, weight overall, the storage that comes pre-installed, the RAM, all that was fine. My one issue was software, which apparently is improved, and it's too expensive in comparison to what the market offer. And I'm talking about like the Westerner world market. You know, because if we look at boutiques, that's a different conversation altogether. But if we compare it to Asus, if we compare to Lenovo, it was more expensive when it came out for less performance. Now it's flipped on its head. So yeah, man, it's a tough call to make.
Yeah.
Well,
So
well, well, how the turntables.
that's
Yep.
right. So I know. Yeah. Speaking of turntables, I know because Nelly, like myself, has definitely gotten hands on with this chipset and knowing how powerful this chip is. What do you think? Have they gotten? Has MSI got the others by the claws now? What do you think,
You
Nelly?
know, it's interesting because it's what, a year old now, this device?
Just about, yeah.
And it's just upside. Like, it's all upside. Like, since you would have picked one up, if someone picked one up a year ago, like, it's just keeps going up for improvement. Whereas like a Z1E or a Z2E, they're like, kind like maybe a little bit with some driver updates, but like Intel just keeps going straight up. Like each updates make it better, and it's like a noticeable improvement. I think there was a bigger update recently that changed a few different like power management things that made it have a bigger boost. And those are things that are exciting with these Intel devices. And it says something when they're just literally re-releasing the device in a different color because they believe so much in the quality of this device. But then I look at like Marketplace and I just scanned it again, just like real quick, and I don't see a single MSI Claw 8 on Marketplace. I have not seen a single one like over the last year here, like at all on the marketplace. I'm like, are people even selling these devices, or are they just holding off? Because it's almost like your investment just keeps climbing. So you don't want to sell because you're getting more out of your device the longer you hold on to it. So it is interesting on how that's playing out. And that 8-inch screen is just such a bonus. Like if somebody could just make an Ally X screen replacement that just eliminates the bezels, goes right to the edges, and gives us like 1200p or something VRR. Like it's slightly bigger than a 7-inch, even a 7.5, whatever it takes to get those bezels like eliminated. Like I would replace my screen in a heartbeat.
But I just saw something. Maybe you guys know I didn't. Let's say that some of our viewers are thinking, yeah, but you know what? I don't care. 7-inch is okay for me. Did you guys know that there's a 7 AI Plus that is 7-inch with the 258V for $899?
Yeah.
So you're paying less for a better device that matches the screen size of the Xbox Ally X. I didn't even know that was an option. I was just looking as I was listening to Nelly.
Yeah, the one thing
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure about with the AI 7 is whether or not that got the other benefits of the
Yeah, the
upgrade.
batteries, the
Yeah,
battery's not the
it's
same in
still
that
like a
one.
50-ish watt hour battery,
Hmm.
right? I think. And like
Yeah,
there
it's
were some.
fine. We got power banks.
Yeah. Do you guys not have power banks? I got a bunch in the
Yeah.
drawer back there.
We got
Um
backpacks.
yeah, exactly.
Backpack
Backpacks for
batteries.
days. Yeah, backpack batteries for days. Yeah, but like you said, otherwise, um, Clef, I think if you're just looking at from a straight display and performance standpoint, just those two things, which I think most people could probably argue are like the primary focus, right? Let's call the controls, and maybe ergo like a wash, even though it we would assume that it would be in the favor of the Xbox Ally X.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pay like more money for like that ergo, assuming that you know what I mean? So like I understand what your
Honest,
argument is there.
no. No.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because if you're buying a device like this for the first time, you don't have that yet. But for someone who held many of those, you know that it's always a compromise. There's never a situation where you're like, oh man, this handheld is so comfortable to hold and I can hold it for like 5 hours straight. This is not a DS. This is not like a Game Boy Advance. These things are heavy. These things are bulky. They're big. They make a lot of noise with their fan outtake. Like it's part of the experience. So with that in mind, you have to compromise regardless. Now, so it becomes a question of, do you compromise a little, or do you compromise a little more, or do you compromise a lot, right? And when looking at the Xbox Ally X and going to the Claw 8 AI Plus, I do think, in terms of, to your point, in terms of comfort, in terms of ergonomics, you will compromise a little bit more, but I don't think it's substantial enough to the point where you're like, yeah, no, it's so much better that I will pay more to have those handles. I don't think it's that good to justify that difference.
I
Are you
also
paying more though? Because you get Game Pass for 3 months for free with the Xbox One?
this segment
So
brought to
that's
you by
like
Jesus
Faceplates.
wants to talk to Nelly. I think they want to hire you.
Yeah, yeah.
that's like $100 value now.
That's $100 value now.
Pan Bondi's. I mean, not Pan Bondi. That's the wrong general. We're looking at Xbox's value here. Yeah, they're probably going to have to throw in 6-month pass soon if we're going in this direction. I do think that what was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. I got
Sorry,
totally
sorry,
thrown off.
Gigi.
No, that's totally fine. Yes. So Sarah Bond, I got the Bond part right. Sarah Bond, yeah, they might have to replace her with you, Nelly. I mean, if you're going to be able to throw these game passes out, you get a game pass and you get a game pass. Um, I think in the context, like comparing those two devices alone, I do really like what Clef was mentioning earlier about like the backlit buttons. I've never seen this on another device. The
Nope.
only device I've actually remember seeing it on is actually like a low end budget device, like the Absolute One, which is like shocking to me that like no other device does this. Because if you think about it too, like from a practical functional standpoint, if you're handing this to a person who is less hardcore of a gamer of you, maybe more casual or whatever, what's more useful, the buttons on, I mean, lit up buttons or lit up sticks? They're not going to have trouble finding where the sticks are. You know what I mean? But they might not know the button layout, especially if like they're commonly like Switch users even.
Yep.
So yeah, what were we
And,
going to
and,
say, Clef?
and well, you're right. The Absolute One does have that, but it's the practicality. And
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that the MSI Claw has a different color based off of if you're on gamepad mode or if you're on keyboard and mouse mode. And it's such a small little feature, but I don't know for you guys, like on a GPD where you have that switch, that keyboard mouse to gamepad switch, it's easy. But on something like an INEO device or 1XP device, where how many times did I pick this up thinking I was in gamepad mode, but I wasn't, or vice versa? Whereas this here, you'll have like a visual feedback of what you're on. So it's little details that down the road, as you get accustomed to the device, I think it genuinely will improve the experience. And I love that, yeah, they're using that for practicality, not just
Yeah,
flair or style.
yeah.
It's amazing when it has a purpose beyond just looking good. So I
It's
think that's a
it's
really cool touch.
it's definitely one of those I guess like five head galaxy brain type things. You would not think that that's like any real quality of life, but like a fingerprint sensor, the amount of times like I've taken, like I would rather use a fingerprint sensor over getting like my greasy Cheeto hands or whatever all over the screen. It's like, yeah, you don't realize how important or valuable that is until it's gone, right? Just like Steam OS Bazite, like sleep or suspend wake function, like you really don't know until like you have it and then you experience it and then it's gone from you. But I want to ask you both about I said earlier that we weren't going to talk about it because it was beyond the scope of this video, but you know what, I lied. You can call me a liar, that's fine. I do want to speculate a little bit, because we are experts at wearing tinfoil hats and suits here, about like the future of Intel. There is recently a report, and an announcement, I believe, from Intel about Xe3, which is their next line of ARC GPUs. Typically what they do is actually roll this out in mobile first, right? So there is a possibility that we might in 2026 see another Intel handheld. I don't know what it would be. We don't know, but maybe it would have like something like an Arc 240V or an Arc 240T or something like that. And if we're assuming that the trajectory is only up from here, like, what's your speculation in terms of this? And should people be concerned that it's too late for Intel, or like have we got time here?
Oh no, we definitely have time. I mean, I've seen reports coming out about Panther Lake that look really good. Like I mean, they're making improvements. So, yeah, I'm eating a lot of crow here over the last few months. So good job, Intel. keep doing what you're doing. I think they're on the path again. So
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. An endorsement from Zach, even without Papa Gelsinger being here.
bring him back, and then we're all good.
Oh, there you go.
All
like,
is forgiven.
Yes. What if we get like I don't even know what the naming scheme would be because of the way they decided to name this thing. You can't call it MSI Claw 28. Then people think it's the 28th MSI Claw. Like I honestly don't know what you would call it. MSI Claw Panther or something.
9. It would have to be the 9, right?
But then it means it's 9 inches, right? Like,
well,
they're just going to use Lenovo's panel. They're going to put
what if they do
Lenovo's
put a
8.8
9-inch? Would that be
Yeah.
sweet?
Well, the 8.8-inch OLED panel. They
Yeah.
just go over to
Yeah.
Lenovo and say, "Hey, give us that panel now." I mean, if we could see something like, even if it's just drop-in replacement, and it comes in under the price of one of these 395 devices that we've been FOMOing over from, companies like One X Player and GPD. How do you think that would fare in the market? As long as people wake up from their sleep, and also, well, this is a lot of assumptions, isn't it? Also hoping that MSI can actually supply these devices.
You want to take it, Nelly? Or
Yeah, I can take it. So at CES, I would love to see just like a surprise device for this. I think it would be great. And when you have the mainstream devices like MSI and Asus and Lenovo, like though Lenovo and Asus are going to be riding the Z2E train for a while. Like that's what they're going to ride for quite a while. So now MSI comes out with this even better device that gives them the edge, and it's under the price of the Legion Go 2. Like that would be in a really good spot. And I think that especially with what they've done with the drivers and the improvements that they've shown, people would show a better like would come to the show a lot more like in this release, being like, okay, Intel is ready. And maybe that saves it. And we keep going with these kind of devices like from Intel and having those mobile chips in these handhelds. And then we keep that war going with AMD because we need that balance. Otherwise, there's no real motivation for AMD to like really keep pushing these handhelds. They'll just keep riding the Z2E for as long as they can. Like we need to see these kind of improvements to push Asus, to push Lenovo, and maybe they decide to throw one of these chips in there because they're like, oh, dang, like this is really good. And then we see a variant for that, and hopefully it's not the same darn screen that we've been getting in every single Ally for the past like over 2 years now. But I'm excited about it.
Just for you, Nelly, they'll use the same screen, but they'll put a white bezel
Oh,
around it. You
I,
know, go ahead, Cliff.
so I do have a take. I was just waiting to hear. I kind of have a different take on this one, and I think they shouldn't rush to market with the XE3 and whatever they call that integrated GPU, because right now I genuinely believe that Intel has the ability to gain some momentum because they have improved their drivers, because 258V is getting better. And I think it's not out of fluke that One X Player, a known collaborator to Intel, released the X1 Air with the 258V and the 228V, which I don't know exactly what's the GPU in there, but I feel like Intel is probably sitting on some stock that they have to move. And based off of what we've seen so far, the very few data that people have to go off of, it seems that the upcoming Panther Lake is basically going to be kind of what we have with the Max 395, which is you get more, but you also got to give it more juice. And so it feels, at least from what we've seen so far, that we're going to run into the same kind of issue, quote unquote, where we'll need bigger batteries, we'll need potentially backpacks. So I think with the way that the current landscape is shaping itself with the release of the Legion Go 2 and the Xbox Ally X, that right now MSI needs to write what they have, maybe do new marketing, like send it to creators, have more people talk about it, or, create a new buzz around that device that you have now that is perfectly positioned to compete and operate just like Asus and Lenovo, as if the boutique world doesn't exist. Ignore them for the time being and try to ride that chip until you have more time to make sure that Panther Lake is going to be good on arrival, because that has been an issue that Intel has faced with their collaborators. Is the device comes out and it's not really that good. Eventually it gets better, but they need to have a device that releases and is good out of the door. So take that time, work on Panther Lake, make sure everything is ready to go. And yeah, I think that would be the best approach. Don't get me wrong. If we do see it at CES, it would be nice, but I think it would steal the thunder from what the MSI Claw can potentially have, considering what's about to become available on the market as we're talking. That would be my hot take.
I don't think that's much of a hot take, except I will rephrase the part where you said send it to creators. MSI, Lucky the Dragon, if you were somehow listening, you send it to us. You send it to Handhelds United. That's who you send it to. You want them to show off how good it is? Yes, we will show it off. Nelly and I, we can lead the whole thing. Yes, we don't need Bo. If you're curious, we have a friend named Tech Guy Bo. You may have seen his channel before. He claims to be a Lenovo shill, but he has to get in line behind me. He has a bunch of videos showing off the Intel 140V and 140T. If you're curious, that they're good comparisons, that I will give it to him. They, you know, people really are sleeping on these chips, and I would be very thrilled to see some comments down below to say yes, they are sleeping on this chip. Yes, they just got themselves a claw and they are really loving it. And if you're not leaving that comment, well, what are you doing? You better come and join our Discord to let us know how much you're enjoying your device, or how disgruntled and angry you are about these other handhelds and their prices, because you're not getting this Intel 140V, 140T type performance. Yeah. So in that context, if someone can actually get their hands on one of these, it does look like they are shipping, unlike the Xbox Ally X, which seems, unfortunately, in the US anyways, that it's been pushed back to December. What's your recommendation? Should they just go out and buy it? Just try it?
The Claw?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And to add to what you said with the Xbox Ally X, I saw some threads on Reddit. A couple of people managed to get a Legion Go 2 in Canada, and I've seen people post emails that they received from Lenovo saying that they're going to ship in January. Yeah, January for and that may not be the case for people who got it in the States. I'm really talking about Canada specifically. But whether you're going with Asus, whether you're going with Lenovo, it would seem that if you hadn't had time to secure pre-order on like the very first days of availability, chances are you're gonna wait. Except if you're going for Xbox Ally X in Canada, because no one seems to be buying those in Canada. No, I'm just joking. But all that said, you're getting the MSI Claw now, and you're buying from Best Buy. This is the best place to source them from. So you have a return policy. Run those tests, run those games, see for yourself. Even like when those videos started coming out from ETA Prime and the likes, and you were seeing like the 258V beating the HX 370, I was like, no way, dude. These numbers are being skewed. Like, what am I missing here? But no, it seems that yes, indeed, like they have made it this good. Finally, again, like Zach said, congratulations, Intel. I'm so happy that you're back, and they're back with great strides. And now is the time to move efficiently and effectively. And if they do that, I think they could reposition themselves as a very valid and solid contender in the space. And we need that. We need that because we've seen what AMD did last year with those price increases. Why do you think these devices are as expensive as they are now? Because they had no competition. Thank you, Intel.
Well put, Clef. That was a little bit spicy of a take, but I totally dig it. Yes, I totally dig it. So what about you, Nelly? What is your recommendation for the claw? If people are going out to spend, a grand or so or whatever, should they give this a shot?
I think it's definitely worth a shot. Like I again enjoy my 255H handheld. I think it's really great. And honestly, I've been thinking about those buttons and how you guys said it lights up. I'm like, if you go from a Switch to an Xbox to a PlayStation, like if you're constantly switching between devices, and some of my buttons, like I have modded PlayStation 4 controllers with like bullet buttons, which are super cool. They're metal, awesome. But then you're like, where is triangle? Where's X? Where's circle? It's actually it's more like square and circle. Which side is square? Which side is circle? And it's dark, and you're like, where's the X? Where's the Y? Like that's those the ones up there that you don't press as often. If you could just see those with the light, honestly, it's like better. It's like same thing with a keyboard. You're like, I know the keys, and most of the time I'm not looking, but then like sometimes your brain just stops, and you're like, where's those keys? And you look down, and if they're not lit up, it's like you're just mashing random things. It's just a nice convenience factor to just have those lights on those buttons. And I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, damn, I want light up buttons. Somebody make me some modded light up buttons. And Asus and Xbox, you should have had green light up buttons. That would have been awesome on this Xbox Ally X. Like that would have been so cool. But yes, I honestly I think the Intel is in a really good spot. And I think even from like Canada, it was sold out for so long. It was sold out for so long, you couldn't buy it on Marketplace, like I mentioned earlier, but you just couldn't get your hands on this device, and you still can get the brown, beige, cream, whatever version. But, like, I want the Tempest version. I want the Tempest version or a black, like, all black. I think it'd be cool too, or the different colors that you can get on Etsy or, maybe Handheld DIY should make some front covers or JSOX should make some front covers. I feel like it wouldn't cost that much, and there would be really good margins in those things. Like, maybe they should stop sleeping on this device and start making some cool accessories and add some hype to it, and maybe MSI just needs to push that a little bit more too or make their own, because I don't think there's enough hype around this device, and it is a really good device. Like, the Intels are really good, and you said the software, Clef, like, the software has gotten so much better, and it's so much cleaner. Like, it's just really good to see those improvements, and it's constant. So, I don't know.
One thing in particular that I like with this app is if panel and the look of your panel is important for you, you know the power of adjusting your colors and your brightness. And the tools found in the Arc panel, whatever it's called, are just phenomenal for color adjustments. They do such a great job at giving you the tools to easily adjust and lock in your settings. Yeah, great, great, great software. I just wanted to add on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really well put and stated, Nelly. Especially about the buttons, which I really dig and I really love too, because it serves a functional purpose, an aesthetic purpose too, and like what a better combo. I can't think of one, except for turning it to our friend Hans' turn and asking him if he's changed his mind about all these backpack batteries and he's just gonna go with an MSI Claw.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like if I said it at the beginning, and I'll say it again. Like if you're not gonna buy a Strix Halo handheld, 385, 395, whatever, and you're gonna buy and you want something in this gen or whatever, like this is probably what you should get. I mean, like I said, now you're waiting even longer for an Xbox Ally X. You're overpaying for a Legion Go 2. I mean, even to Clef's point earlier, why don't you get, if you want to save money, get the 7 for even cheaper than the Xbox Ally X, or you just buy the 8 and you're right around the same price and getting, you're still getting more out of that. So, um, yeah, I mean, if this is looking like, at least in that kind of small section, the 10 to 15, 1,000 to 1,500 range, maybe this is what you're looking at, but to that point, because I've mentioned Strix Halo about 50 times, and I mean, I think I'm still a little more sold that way just because it's such a big jump, and to Clef's point earlier, you're telling Intel to kind of let things cook for a little bit. I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago, we had rumors about an Intel, Strix Halo like chip and then it's been radio silence ever since. So hopefully that hasn't been scrapped, but I mean, I think competition wise, like that's going to have to be something that they work on if they're not thinking about it, they need to maybe think about it again.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Especially in terms of that competition, Zach. So before we wrap things up, there is one little tiny elephant. Depends on the angle at which you're looking at the elephant, I guess. That I'm a little surprised my friends here haven't picked up on or mentioned just yet, and that is that the Claw here, because the Claw is an Intel chip. This means that it has native Thunderbolt support and not USB 4 support. If we have a Panther Lake chip that has Thunderbolt 5, I know my friend Nelly is all over that thing, and
All over it.
you don't even have
That's
to
what I'm saying.
name a price for
CES,
it.
like, give it
Yes.
to me. Give it to me
Yes.
on CES.
Yes. So once again, if you somehow missed a previous episode, I mean, what are you doing? We got a whole playlist full of them. The eGPU support when it comes to all of our AMD Ryzen handhelds, it works for the most part. It does just work. Even on Steam OS now, it kind of works as well. But here's the thing: the handshake that is done with those is done by an as media chip, because even though they're supposed to be Thunderbolt certified, they're not technically truly Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt protocol was made by Intel. It is handled by an Intel chip. So because this is an Intel chip, I don't know, I don't have direct confirmation, but I would assume that this is also an Intel chip handling that USB controller. So this means that it would actually be, or it should actually be, Thunderbolt 5 when we get Thunderbolt 5 inside of something like an MSI Claw. And again, yeah, like we've been saying earlier, if MSI, you're somehow listening to this, you somehow see this, like, get Thunderbolt. If you are the first to market with a Thunderbolt
Oof.
5 handheld, people are just, and you just price it like just slightly under, people are just going to buy that. Like, you know,
And
I don't.
I gotta add something, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I know, we've all been testing eGPUs in some capacity. I find that whenever I'm installing an AMD eGPU on an AMD based PC handheld, the drivers conflict that I get are way more likely than if I'm using an NVIDIA. And I don't think it's because it's NVIDIA. I just think it's because there's less of a crosstalk. You have your NVIDIA for your NGPU, and same goes if you are rocking an eGPU on an Intel device. My experience has been less drivers conflict. So that's even a benefit if you are looking to have an eGPU that is AMD based. I just wanted to add that because I think a lot of people are considering eGPUs more and more, especially with how expensive everything is these days. Like you're not really paying all that much more if you're going that route, but it's that much more convenient in trading a little bit of power. So I just wanted to add that. But before we end, can I challenge us? Like we've been glossing over the MSI clause. I'd like everyone to come up with a reason why you would not want to go that route, right? Because some of our viewers are probably going to be like, "Yo, okay, these guys like they sound like they're paid, they're shilling hard." We're not, but here I want to know, like, do you guys have a reason why you potentially would not go for the MSI clause?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I've said it
Yeah, say
probably
it.
3 times already. Like, I mean, get a Strix Halo. Like that's gonna be the one. You're gonna get your Win 5. You're gonna wait for the Apex or whatever. Arthur's coming out with over at INEO. I don't even remember what it's called at this point. So, but either that or just stay old gen. If you don't, I mean, if you're coming from say Steam Deck, or if you have nothing or like a Switch, buy a used old one. I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse over the last like month. But I mean, if other than that, like, yeah, that's about the only thing I can think of right now in this market is either buy old used, but if you want to buy something new, just wait for a Strix Halo device.
I like where you're going with that, Zach. I'm gonna like tangent from that slightly a little bit, and I'll say that I think, yeah, if you are coming from a device, particularly a device that's somewhere around the Z1E level, then yeah, maybe you could skip this generation. You don't have to. I mentioned previously that I put on I put on Bazite on my Legion Go, and that thing like knocks it out of the park. It outperforms, at least in the games that I play, like above a Z2E and even above a 140V or 140T in the case of this Claw. So there's really no need for it other than some other improvements like the increased battery size or like the backlit buttons and stuff like that we talk. They're definitely like quality of life features and nice to haves, but I would say that in my financial position, I don't think it's worth like $1,000 for like those quality of life improvements. For me, I would have to do it on the basis of like making content for it for like YouTube or something like that. If I didn't have a device or if I was coming from something like a Steam Deck, I actually think it might be worth it simply because like the jump between those is pretty significant. I don't think it's quite exactly double, but it is quite noticeable. There's a big leap there. And it's an improvement all around, right? And something that Nelly said in a previous episode, sorry if this is going to be your point, Nelly, but like you're not losing anything by jumping this way because like Steam Deck doesn't have eGPU support, right? So like whatever handheld, even if it's not a Claw that you choose, any one of these like newer handhelds, they're going to have that eGPU support for you, and that's not mandatory. Like you can choose to go that direction if you want to, you know. So yeah, that's it. Oh, and also Lucky doesn't like me. That'd be the other reason why I wouldn't buy it. But what about you, Nelly?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll skip it because I have a 255H. Like there's no reason for me to get this because I'd be getting a similar device, and I don't like love the aesthetics of it, and that's part of it too. Like and I want to be able to mod it, and I can't do any mods or anything really other than guess the Etsy covers, which Clef just shared today, which again is exciting. But like, I want to be able to do mods to my device if I have one of the mainstream units. I don't expect that on all of the One X Player and GPD and those kind of devices, but I do expect us to have options from some of these different companies for these mainline devices because that makes it really cool and fun for these devices. Everybody has them, and like I want mine to look different, and I want to be able to have that customization. And I can I mean, no one's backing this for grips and stuff like that. Like I want to have a kill switch grip for my device if I'm gonna have one, and I want to have that Xbox kill switch grip. But thankfully, I took my email, but there is no updates of when this thing's gonna release. So I have to get this cheap whatever. If you search Xbox Ally X grip, it's going to be the black or the white one. It's the classic generic ones. I have to use one of those until Dbrand like releases something or somebody releases something for me. But I love having that extra grip and texture. And if I don't have that on a device, like I use grip tape or something to like make it better. But I want to be able to have those accessories for the device. And I feel like people are missing the boat on the accessories for the claw. And that's just I want to have that.
You're presenting a very interesting point, Nelly, and that is that with the device that doesn't have the kind of market saturation that an ROG Ally or Steam Deck or Legion Go has, like there's fewer accessories for it, right?
Mhm.
Of course, someone is going to read that the other way and say that Nelly thinks the device is perfect. That's why it doesn't need to be modded. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so here's another thing I'm going to ask you all that's completely unrelated, and this is our final little thing. What are you playing right now? We need to be less business and more casual. This is what I've been told by my robot AI laser counselor.
What have I been playing? Well, a lot, a lot of Destiny Rising. Oh my god, way too much Destiny Rising.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
that's not on a handheld. You can't say that.
Well,
Okay.
no, it's on a phone, it's on a tablet, and it's even on a
Yeah.
PC through Mew Mew made by NetEase. No, no, okay, not
Okay.
gonna. But yeah, a lot of Destiny Rising, and because I stream on Twitch on a completely different entity, nothing to do with us or even my channel. Um, it's Halloween month, so I'm trying to lean into the horror genre. So I'm gonna be playing the Mortuary Assistant,
Mhm.
which I did the demo, and I don't do well with horror. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I'm scared. I'm not excited to play it, but for entertainment purposes, I guess. So that's what I've been playing.
The things Clef will do for a stream. Make sure you check the description for a link for that. What about you, Nelly? What are you playing?
Well, I played Spider-Man 2 the other day, but I've kind of been just waiting. I have Expedition 33 that I need to continue, but I really want to play them on my Xbox Ally X when it arrives in a few days here. So I've kind of been like doing other stuff to prep to give me more game time to hit that up because I want to see what those like the triggers are like and stuff, like all those features in the new controller. Like that's what I'm excited about. So I'm kind of waiting to keep going on Expedition 33 until I have my hands on that and Spider-Man 2 when I have my hands on that. But did you know that Borderlands 4 went on sale on Steam today?
Oh,
Oh,
And that's
listen,
been out what, a month?
if that,
Maybe, if
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But it is on sale and I
yeah,
thought that was super interesting.
yeah. See, vote with your wallet,
oh,
people.
you're
Uh,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
And speaking of voting with your wallet, I know Nelly said the magic number and words, Expedition 33. What are you playing, Zach?
That would be it. I finally decided to quit like benchmarking and tweaking and trying to make it, look like I'm playing on, a 4090 or something with it, on my Legion Go. So and I just finally decided, accept it. Quit pixel peeping. Just play the game. Like I don't know. I think that's something I've been struggling with here for a little bit. It's like just play the game, enjoy it. Like quit pixel peeping. So I finally started. I finally got to the end. Well, finally actually like passed and a little bit past the intro at this point instead of playing that over and over and over again, trying to
That,
make it look good before I got deep into it, where I'm assuming I might have some more dips, but I'm just gonna accept it and play it and enjoy it.
that is sage advice, Zach. I also feel like that's a personal attack on me because I have 95 out of 98 hours of Cyberpunk just spent in the benchmark. Um, that
It's
that
okay, I
that
do too.
that said, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, everyone. I'll just say I've been playing a little bit of the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, the Ivalice Chronicles, which you can push down to 5 watts on the Legion Go, original Legion Go, or even 5 watts on an Intel 258V. And so, depending on your battery size, yeah, on a Legion Go, you're getting a couple hours, and on the One X Player X1 Air, which I'm testing right now, you can get like a whole day's worth of that. And I just got my buddy. I just also got my buddy Hogwarts Legacy for his birthday, and watching him stream that has made me actually want to go back and finish the game until I logged into the game and I realized, wait, there's way too many like collectibles in this thing. I better shut this off. And speaking of shutting this off, so make sure that you drop by our Discord so that you are not shut off from all the handheld news and all of this lovely panel's activities outside of this speedcast. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. See you in the next one.